no time at all, we have arrived in Florence. Pushing our bags along on the convenient carts here in the train station. It's always very easy to get around in these train stations. You just either tug your bag or push it on a cart. The Eurostar is a sleek new train in the Italian rail system. And then from the train station, we can actually walk to our hotel. There's an underground shopping mall that goes for 2 blocks and takes us right up the ramp to the Grand Hotel Baglioni. It's like staying in a palace when you stay at the Baglioni in Florence. It's located right next to the San Lorenzo street markets, which have an abundant array of things for sale, and the Church of San Lorenzo with its peaceful cloister. Peek at the Duomo and grab a bite before our city tour.
How do you do?
Ann Barbetti, if you've been watching my TV show, perhaps you've seen Ann.
Nice. Now, Florence, to begin with, is a city that was founded by the Etruscans way back in the 7th century before Christ. And then the Etruscans were absorbed into the Roman Empire. The state of Tuscany, or the region of Tuscany, which Florence is the capital of today, is a word that takes its name from this early civilization. And it's kind of interesting because they're the ones that gave to the Romans the system of building with arches instead of just flat lintel system. And it gave them many recipes, and it gave them many of their costumes. And early rulers of the Roman Empire were Etruscan. So they were a quite educated group of people.
Just in front of the Duomo, you'll find the famous doors of the baptistry.
First doors are done by Andrea Pisano, and the doors on the north side and on this east side are done by Lorenzo Ghiberti. Now, the stories that it tells are the Genesis and the story of Cain and Abel, always beginning at the top and working down.
We walk along with Anne past the Duomo to the Piazza della Signoria to learn more about the fascinating history of Florence.
So in the 1500s, for a very brief time, the Medici family ruled as Grand Dukes, and this is the man on his horse over here. They built the building on the other side over there called the Uffizi. It means offices. Today, the Uffizi is a U-shaped building. It no longer has anything in it except for the art gallery. Now, when you're with Dennis, you will be meeting at the hotel and going to the Uffizi to visit this evening.
Inside the courtyard of the Palazzo Vecchio is this little putti. It's a copy of an original by Verrocchio. Inside of the palazzo, there's a museum. There's statues outside in the Loggia of the Lancers. Here's a statue of Neptune by Ammannati, very attractive fountain. And on to the Church of Santa Croce, just a few blocks behind the Piazza della Signoria. This is one of the major churches in Florence. The tomb of Michelangelo is right here. There are monuments inside to Machiavelli, to Galileo, to Rossini, to many of the important people of Italy, including Dante, Florentines in the past. And we have a look inside this spectacular church with all of its sculptures and paintings. There's paintings by Giotto up behind the altar. Quite impressive facade of Santa Croce. Through a typical Tuscan palace courtyard, onto the Uffizi, the great art museum of Florence. Anne was telling you a little bit about it just now, and let's go inside and have a look around. There's Botticelli's Annunciation. There's a whole room full of giant paintings by Botticelli, one of the great masters of the early Renaissance, including The Birth of Venus. Perhaps the most gorgeous, pretty face ever painted. Botticelli was a master, and these paintings are filled with symbolism. Here's La Primavera, the Three Graces, and Springtime. The Uffizi has the world's largest collection of Italian Renaissance art, and they're now open extended hours, fortunately. They're open till 10 o'clock just about every night, which makes it much easier to get into the Uffizi. Previously, you usually had to wait online. If you went during the midday, you might have to wait online for 1 hour or 2 hours, but now there's no problem. Michelangelo's round Tondo, the Holy Family, and there's a great view out the window of the Uffizi looking down the Arno River and the Ponte Vecchio crossing the Arno. Time for dinner. This is one of the many great restaurants in the city, and they serve up some big steaks, bistecca fiorentina.
Yes, please. Yes.
Get this.
I got it.
Next morning, we're up early to enjoy the view of sunrise from the roof of our hotel, looking out at the Duomo. What a backdrop for our snapshots.
First of all, the roofs are just spectacular because it seems like everybody has like a little place to hang out on the roofs. And this one, it's sectioned off, so one table in one section, and so you can kind of be alone if you come up here with your honey.
The color, yeah, the color all around. So neat. And the bells add to the charm.
You outdid yourself when you gave us this hotel today.
Yes, really.
You've been here before?
Very good. Oh, many times.
We get quite a stunning view of the Duomo from the breakfast room at the top of the Baglioni. It's a great restaurant. Eggs and bacon and sausage and rolls and fruits and juices and coffee for breakfast. Wow, what a start to the day. Have some cereal. You can eat as much or as little as you like at this buffet. And they have a fine restaurant in the evening for dinner as well, too. Many of the rooms at the hotel also have a view of the Duomo. This room is not one of our rooms at the hotel. This is one of the great rooms of the Pitti Palace, which was a royal palace of Italy. When Florence was the capital of Italy in the late 19th century, this is where the ruler of the country lived. This is the guy who started it, Cosimo Medici. He was the most important person in Florence. They created these grand galleries in the Pitti, originally constructed for a wealthy merchant in the 1440s, designed by Brunelleschi. The Pitti family lived here for the first 100 years, and then it was taken over by the Medici and the Dukes of Lorraine and various noble families of Florence, and they've created this incredible art collection. The ceilings are painted by Pietro da Cortona, and there's masterpieces in here by Raphael and Reni, Rubens and Velázquez, Titian and Carracci, and it goes on and on. It's like a chocolate box wrapped in gold. You've got to go take a look at the Pitti Palace. It's located right near the Ponte Vecchio, which makes an amusing stroll past these very expensive gold shops. The jewelry of the Ponte Vecchio is world famous, and the prices are sky high. Worth a look anyway. And the Ponte Vecchio leads you right back into the heart of town. Florence has many little places you can grab a quick snack. They have these cute little wine bars right on the sidewalk. You just can grab a small sandwich, short glass of wine, and have a break. Back to the Duomo and on beyond, we've come to the Accademia. We're at the feet of perhaps the greatest statue ever made. It's Michelangelo's David.
Oh, no.
This 13-foot-high statue was carved from a single block of marble between 1502 and 1504, and it symbolizes the triumph of intelligence and courage over brute force. After the Accademia, we pass once again through the San Lorenzo street markets on our way back to the hotel. It's been a quick summary of our visit to Florence. The merchants are wrapping it up, and so are we. Out of control suitcase. Actually, this is a very convenient ramp. We're just playing around here that leads from the hotel back into the train station, just a few minutes walk. And we're boarding. We have a system with the group baggage. Not everybody has to carry their own suitcase on board. We form a team of baggage volunteers, usually maybe 6 people from the group who are the biggest and strongest, and they bring the bags on board the train, helping everybody else out, put the bags up on the overhead racks, and it makes for a very easy departure from Florence.